Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Cynthia, and today I'm sharing with you my January Ruby and Pearl XO design team project. This is a journal that I've created using some of her printables. I've used printables from many different kits that she has on her Etsy shop, so as always, I'll have everything listed down below on the different kits that I've used in this journal. Feel free, of course, to ask me if you have any questions. But let's get into it. It's been a while since I've created a journal. It's been a few months and I haven't been creating a lot, to be honest. I just haven't had the heart to do so. And just with different things going on in my life, I've kind of took a step back from creating a little bit. So it was really nice to get to focus on something positive and something really good. And I'm excited to share this with you. I really love this journal. She's really cute. Like she's a little shabby, a little kind of feels almost like a bits and pieces kind of stuck together. Um, a little bit of a wild soul in a way. Um, I hope that that's reflected and that you'll be able to see that as well in it. I had a lot of joy creating her and playing around with different elements that I hadn't played with in a while. She's almost done. Like I have some little bits and pieces to fix up. The sides here, I want to get those tucked in. But other than that, she's about like 98% done. I always end up kind of going through the journals I make once more and add a few more things. But for now, this is her. So this is the front and then the back. And I have stitching all around. And it's a hidden spine. So they'll offer whoever will create in this a lot of room to grow into it and to do so very comfortably. And so when you open her up, so as you open it, you'll see in there, of course, all the different printables that I'm using. I'm using a lot of blues. If you've watched any of my other videos, you might know I do really like blue. It seems to be one of the colors I like to create with the most. There's lots of vintage elements in here, some vintage and antique papers and different vintage laces, various little fabrics, some little velvets, and very textile. I like to use different papers that just feel nice in the hands and will crinkle and crackle and just do all sorts of pleasant noises. So I'll get started on flipping through here. I'll continue to chat with you a little bit since it's been a while. I really hope you're all doing really well. I've been okay. I just, like I said, haven't had the heart to create, and that's okay. Just giving myself some grace and letting that happen for me for now. So on this side, on the inside here, I have a little piece of authentic wallpaper. This is one of my favorite ones, and I held on to this piece for so long and wanted to use it in so many projects. I really wanted to keep it for myself because I'm selfish, but it felt really perfect for this, so I ended up using it here. And it's attached to a vintage invoice that you can flip, and it holds some little papers here, but you could really put some little treasures in there, and you can tuck something right here as well. So that's like this, and then that's the inside cover. And I just tied it with a little piece of ribbon here, and I make just a loose knot and it holds everything together like this. Now on this side here, we have a vintage envelope and it holds this little journaling card. And again, I love these ladies. That's one of my favorite kits from Heather. They just, they embody this kind of, idealistic lifestyle that we can all imagine from the TV shows and movies that we've watched. Of course, the life back then was not so glamorous as they make it seem, but we can, you know, foolishly believe it was. And here, this is one of the printables. I just love the blues, and that kit in particular has a lot of these types of drawing um, kind of sketches, and they're really pretty. Like they just feel very organic to me and very delicate. So, really like to include them in my journals. It's backed with a vintage paper. And here we have a little lace. It's so pretty. And a vintage invoice. And this is part of a vintage envelope. And I've added this little printable here. So on this side, you see that lady there and just, daydreaming. And this is kind of what this journal feels to me, a little bit of daydreaming and all the hopes and the dreams that you can include in there. And you can tuck things right here and it'll hold it. Some more vintage paper, and this is some cabbage dyed paper and some little cards there. And this is another little journaling card. And some lace, more vintage papers. I love that butterfly there. And on the other side, it says papillon, and that's butterfly in French. And it's just so pretty. Lots of room to create, but also lots of room to write. I'm a big writer in my journals, so I really like to have a lot of dedicated spaces for that. I find spaces for writing are so easy to create on anyway, so it's a little bit harder to write on spaces that are too busy than the opposite. So I really like to keep some open spaces for writing. And this is another printable. I love the colors of this one a lot. It just really makes me think of Cinderella. I don't know why, but it just really does. And then some vintage ledger paper. Book pages. And here you have the word papillon. And it opens up, and then there's a little envelope with some little goodies in there. And some more wallpaper and a little journaling card. So this is one of the wallpapers that she has. And there's so many kits on her Etsy, but what I really love is that there's always, so you have the 4 different wallpapers, or sometimes it's more, but then there's also pages on which you have the wallpapers in a set of 4, so it makes them about this size when you print them out, and they're perfect for journaling cards. So that's how I love to use them the most, or I'll create tags with them. But this is really like such a simple, effective way to use them. Back them up with a pretty paper, or of course, if you have your printer at home, you can print them on special papers. I don't, so I do alternative stuff. And some more cabbage dyed paper with a little tag here and a little ribbon. A little tag. And the other side of that envelope. Just love the blue. And then this blue with that blue, it's so pretty. So really like that a lot. And then we get into the second signature. So as you can see, there's a lot of room in between. And because it is a hidden spine, then there's like lots of room for things to grow and to move around. So it's hopefully going to be very comfortable for whoever creates in this. So here we have another vintage letter, this one from the 50s, and a little paper bag in which there's little goodies, and another one of those beautiful printables. You can see I really went all out with the blues. Just, there's something about the blues that the contrast, and I don't know what it is. I just love the blue. So, and some brown paper on the other side here. And again, so like I've mentioned, I just love like that feeling. It feels so satisfying to me and so pleasant to work with. So, and then some little fabrics here. And you can tuck something in here on both sides. And another piece of that vintage ledger. And here a little piece of ephemera I've created. So we have that little lady. Don't know if she's picking a flower or what she's doing in the tree, but and then on the other side there's a wax seal, and if you open it up you just have some room for journaling. And a little trim. And some handmade paper. Not by me, but nonetheless. And some more vintage paper, cabbage dyed paper. And this printable, just love the scenery. Again, it goes with the kind of the thought of all those hopes and dreams that you can imagine in here, and perhaps that's a trip to go see some beautiful landscapes. Who knows? And here's another printable, and this one is finished off with a little piece of lace. Little trims. The other side of that, handmade paper, cabbage paper. I love the green of this a lot. And I put some other, some ribbon that kind of mimics the same type of tone. Green is my favorite color. Like when I'm creating, I use a lot of blue, but green is my favorite color otherwise. Just in general, I guess. Oh. And the other side of that ledger, book page, and the other side of that really pretty print. And here's another little journaling card that you can journal on the back of, and that's another print. And then this is a little book page that you can open up, and there's a vintage photo in there with another little tag on which you can create. And this one here, I just resized the wallpapers, so I made them really small to be able to use them as just like miniature cards. And that's it for the second signature. And now finally for the third signature, same amount of space in between, so allows for lots of room to grow. Lots of goodies can be included in here. And that's another print. This one is from the Botanical kits, I believe. I just really love those botanical kits, and there's so many ways that you can use them. So of course I like to use them as pages, full pages, but you could also fussy cut them and create smaller cards to journal on. So I just really like the look of them, and the coloring for this one is so pretty with the kind of, it's almost a deep violet, so it brings out the little blues here and there too. And on this side here is an authentic wallpaper, so vintage wallpaper with a little ruffle and some music sheet. And some other little journaling card. I love this lady and her dog. I really love photographs, vintage photographs that have dogs in them. I just find it so sweet. And another little tag and a vintage postcard. Perhaps a place you want to visit. some more trends. And vintage ledger. And this one here is another printable, so that's another one of the wallpapers. In my journals, I really love to use those wallpapers in the middle of the signatures. I find it brings such a beautiful pop and such a beautiful surprise when you get to it, or if your journal happens to open on that page. It's just so gorgeous. So this one has just such lovely colors. And here I have a little tag and some little goodies tucked in behind. And another little journaling card. This one, there's a little pocket at the front, little tip. And then this here was from, I believe it was Heather that created, one of her projects was creating these little kind of like cigarette matches, or yeah, match boxes. Oh my goodness. I think that was what she was creating. I believe so. Anyway, I'll link the video down below. It was great. And then I made some like a spin-off of it. So that's what I created, being inspired by her video. I think her video was much more interesting than this little guy, but you know, I created what I wanted with the inspiration of her video. She's always got some really really fantastic projects, really, and the way she combines the different fabrics that she uses and the different patterns. I really admire some of the other ladies that are on this team. Heather is part of the team, of course, and but not just her. You know, all the ladies that are on this team are just so inspiring, and I don't use patterns the way that they do, and the way they see the colors and combine the different materials and the different patterns that they use. It really amazes me, and it feels so inspiring. And then I go and I play around with stuff that I have, and I'm like, oh, this does not look the way that it looks for them. I'm sure some of you can relate to that, but you know, of course, I'm not saying I'm not talented at all, but it's not. We have different styles, of course, and I very much admire what they do, and the talents that they have, and really the all the work that they've put into the art that they create. It's really inspiring and very motivational for myself anyway. And nearing the end of this journal here, this one is the coffee dyed paper. I think I have a couple pieces in there. And the other side of that music sheet, that vintage wallpaper, and finally, this is another one of the printables. Just love her. Belle jardinière. So, beautiful gardener. And she is quite beautiful. So, it seemed very fitting, and I don't know, it just worked really well. And then that's the back side here. And of course, it just closes. I have some different ribbons here. I just thought it was, like I said, like a little bit mismatch, a little bit more, how to say, not clean, but messy, right? Like, there's a certain messiness to this journal, and I really like it. Perhaps it's a reflection on how I'm feeling. Oh, but you know, that's we create what we are, I guess. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what's inside this journal, and perhaps it gave you some ideas of what you can create and what you can include in your next journal. I'm not sure yet what I'm doing with this journal, so of course, you know, if you are interested, do message me. I'm a lot easier to contact on Instagram. I do try to respond to my messages as quickly as I'm humanly possible to do so, but I do want to take a moment to thank you all for being here and for watching this video and for continuing to show up even when I'm not very consistent with my channel. I have been struggling to be consistent, and that's just my current situation, so that it is what it is. I can't make promises, but it does encourage me a lot to see that some of you continue to show up, and it means a lot to me. So I do want to thank you, and I do wish you all a really wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we'll speak soon again. Bye for now.